Hi, and welcome to the Children's Services Council's HEAL Community Mental Health Worker short video training series using content adapted from the Center for Community Learning's Handbook for Community Health Workers. The Healing and Empowering All Living with Trauma, aka HEAL program, was developed by the Children's Services Council in partnership with Broward Behavioral Health Coalition and the Center for Community Learning. I'm Tiffany Lawrence, a licensed marriage and family therapist in the state of Florida, and I will walk you through the training content series. This video serves as an introduction to the HEAL Community Mental Health Worker training and will provide you with information about community health workers. I'd like to share a bit of history regarding HEAL. The HEAL program was created in Broward County as a response to an increase in youth and adult suicides within Deerfield Beach. After meeting with community members, the message was clear. Community members wanted services offered by individuals who lived in the community and could relate to community needs. Since starting in Deerfield Beach, HEAL has expanded to multiple neighborhoods within Broward County. HEAL utilizes community mental health workers, which is another title for community health worker. The Certified Community Health Worker, or CCHW designation in Florida, is an entry-level credential for frontline health workers who are trusted in the community, serve as a liaison, and link individuals to needed health services. Some examples of job titles for community health worker positions include, but are not limited to, community mental health worker that we use in Broward County, community health educator, outreach worker, health advocate, and promoters de salud. The Certified Community Health Worker designation in Florida requires a minimum of a high school diploma or equivalent, completion of 500 hours of supervised work or volunteer experience in community health worker roles, and successful passing of the Community Health Worker Certification examination. Community mental health workers in Broward County may not be required to become certified with the state of Florida for their position. Like we spoke about with the Deerfield Beach community, community mental health workers in Broward County are trusted members of the community who serve as liaisons between health services and the community. Community mental health workers facilitate access to care for people living in a community while also improving service quality and cultural competence amongst providers. Community mental health workers provide culturally appropriate mental health education and support, assist individuals in navigation of behavioral health services and resources, and offer advocacy for mental health needs. Do you know what a recovery peer support specialist is? A recovery peer support specialist is an individual with lived experience who provides peer-to-peer support services. Peer specialists must attest to being an adult with lived experience, a family member or caregiver to another person who has mental health or behavioral health needs, a veteran or a youth between the ages of 18 to 29 at the time of application who have their own lived experience. So what's the difference between a community health worker and a recovery peer specialist, you ask? That's a great question. Community mental health workers live in the community that they serve, and they're culturally competent based on that community, so they provide health services linkages within that community. They link people to primary and secondary prevention on substance use, HIV, legal histories or issues, domestic violence, and behavioral health like mental health and substance use care. They also provide health service linkage to community resources using the community resources that are within that specific neighborhood. On the other hand, certified recovery peer specialists have lived experience with mental health or substance use. They use that lived experience to connect with the people they serve, and they link people to mental health, substance use, and other community services as necessary. So peer specialists have lived experience in mental health or substance use and use that lived experience to connect with the person served, while on the other hand, community mental health workers are trusted individuals from within a community who may not necessarily have lived experience with mental health or substance use, but they connect with individuals based on living in the same or similar communities. There are core competencies for the community health worker credential. These include communication and education. So this is educating or communicating mental health services to the community. Resources, which includes linking individuals in the community to resources. And in order to do that, that means community mental health workers have to know what resources are. So this could be attending different meetings and learning about what resources exist in the community to be able to effectively link the people you're serving. Advocacy. Advocacy looks like speaking up for individuals served within a community. What are their mental health and substance use needs? And how can they get those needs met? You may be going to meetings within a community, meeting with healthcare providers to talk about and advocate on behalf of the person you're serving. Foundations of health. So this is understanding health as a holistic model. What does physical health look like? What does mental health look like? And how can we use those foundations of health to link people to the resources necessary for their wellness? And then community mental health workers need to have professional responsibilities. These are things that are required for the position to help keep people safe, to present yourself in a professional manner, and to operate so that people can trust you within the community. Community health workers should possess the following qualities: honesty, sacrifice, commitment, the ability to maintain confidentiality, so not telling information of the person served to others without their permission, or for the requirement of getting them into mental health or substance use treatment. Impartiality, responsibility. You have a responsibility to report certain things when needed or to remain professional, and that is where responsibility comes in. Leadership. A lot of people within a community will look up to you as a community mental health worker, and that is where your leadership skills come into play. Accessibility, which is being available to the people that you serve, respecting everyone, and the ability to listen and communicate clearly with other individuals. Some activities performed by community mental health workers include identifying new children, families, or adults to enroll in their specific program or services, linking individuals to relevant services, helping parents or caregivers learn what they can do to assist their child with their recovery, helping individuals set attainable goals and work to accomplish those goals, helping to empower individuals with their lives, providing emotional support and mentoring, working with parents to develop their child rearing skills. How do they take care of their child? And you might be able to connect them to services to assist with learning those skills, helping individuals learn to cope with stress in their lives, and helping individuals learn to problem solve. Now we will turn our attention to a short video that will help drive the idea of what a community mental health worker does. As you watch this video, please pay attention to some of the following questions. Were individuals in the video jumping into the lake, or were they being pushed in? If they were being pushed in, by whom and why? Did they ever go upstream and check things out? Or were people falling in? What was the answer? As you think about these questions after watching the video, think about your own community or the communities that you serve and how these questions can apply in a real world example in the communities that you serve.
Hi, my name is Liz. I'm the chair of the Community Mental Health Program at CIIS, and I want to tell you a story about psychotherapy and social justice. It starts like this. Once upon a time, there was a big, wide river with two villages next to it, upstream and downstream. And in downstream, as long as the villagers could remember, they would periodically find people from upstream struggling in the river, drowning in the current. And of course, the good people of downstream would try to rescue them. They used to use life rings, ropes, poles. Now they have boats, radar, early warning systems. They have a whole coast guard. And once they rescue someone, they dry them off, warm them up, calm them down, and then send them on their way back home, walking back to upstream. Sounds pretty good so far, right? What's missing from this story? What have the good, helpful people of downstream failed to do? Well, did they ever ask exactly how people were ending up in the river in the first place? Did they ever go upstream and check things out? Were people falling in? Jumping in? Were they being pushed in? If so, by whom and why? And why were some of the same people ending up in the river over and over again? Important questions, right? So what does all this have to do with community mental health, psychotherapy, and social justice? Psychotherapy helps people who are struggling or even drowning, and it's a powerful skill. But psychotherapy alone is incomplete if we don't broaden our lens and ask some bigger questions, like, what is this river of suffering or mental challenges that we find ourselves in? And what are the conditions of our communities, our society, our world, such that some people end up in the river? And as we ask and start to answer these questions, we end up in the terrain of social justice, of liberation psychology, of activism, advocacy, and social transformation. So if this terrain is home for you, if you desire to be both a skilled psychotherapist and a powerful, informed, and thoughtful change maker, that's who we are and what we do in the Masters of Community Mental Health program at CIIS. Check us out and let's be in touch. Let's be the change that our communities need.
The impacts of community mental health workers in Florida are improved access. CMHWs enhance access to mental health services, especially in underserved communities. Improved cultural competence. They provide culturally sensitive support, improving patient engagement and outcomes, as well as community engagement. CMHWs foster community trust and participation in mental health initiatives. Now that we've finished this video, think about what you can do to be impactful as a CMHW and share that information with a coworker or your supervisor.